Hi, and welcome to the Verifone Training Academy. This short video will provide you with an overview on some of the features and functions available to you in the PAYware Connect store portal. PAYware Connect supports multiple payments, as well as functionality. However, most of your payments and daily operations are going to be performed through your point of sale or even your countertop terminal, which would be integrated with PAYware Connect. But for today's demonstration, we're going to be navigating and processing directly through the store portal. So let's go ahead and get started talking about today's objectives. Upon completing this training video, you'll be able to enable card and address verification values in the store portal. You'll also be able to enable duplicate checking in the store portal and identify the environment and the best practices to implement these payment acceptance levels. Let's go ahead and start off by talking about why we use card and address verification. Card and address verification is very important to protect you and your consumers against fraud. There have been nearly $5.5 million in fraudulent transactions performed worldwide, which about 10% of Americans have been victims of. Enabling card and address verification in PAYware Connect will also severely decrease your risk against chargebacks, and may even offer you a lower transaction rate for your manual transactions with your processor. Here are the environments you should implement card and address verification with. If you're accepting cards over the phone or through an e-commerce website, you want to make sure the individual is the actual cardholder, so requiring the CVV and billing address are encouraged to protect you against fraud and chargebacks. Implementing CVV and AVS in PAYware Connect are only possible with merchants with terminal-based processors. You want to check with your processor to verify your capture and settlement method. So what this means is, if you're set up with a terminal-based processor, all of your transactions will be captured and managed through PAYware Connect, which will require you to settle through PAYware Connect each day. So if you're set up with a host-based processor, you will need to enable card and address verification on the processor side, since the processor captures and manages your transactions for you, and PAYware Connect never receives the CVV and AVS responses sent back from the card issuer. Address verification is used to ensure that the individual making the purchase is the actual cardholder by verifying the billing address and zip code. This information is checked with the card issuer. If it checks out, the transaction is captured. If it doesn't match the level you want it to be verified with, then it will decline the transaction so it doesn't process completely. I want you to take note, if you receive an AVS mismatch response, the transaction will only be declined from being added to the open batch of transactions in PAYware Connect. It will still be approved with the card issuer, however the approval code should expire within 7 to 10 days. To access the Payment Acceptance Levels options, select Account Admin and Payment Acceptance Levels. It will default to the AVS Acceptance Level options. Here you will select the level in which you want to verify the billing address and zip code with the card issuer. What's unique here is, the more options you select, the less secure you are. The more you narrow down the level in which you allow transactions to be accepted, the more secure you are. In this example, if I select exact match 5-digit zip, address unavailable, and exact match 9-digit zip, then this means I will allow all payments that match these criteria. If I select options like no address or zip match, I'm opening myself up to accept more transactions that won't necessarily match with the card issuer, which could put me at a greater risk. Stricter security is always a best practice to be followed. Here, we're only going to accept transactions that match the 5-digit zip code. Select Update at the bottom of the page to save your changes. To verify the individual is physically holding the card and the credit card is not forged, you'll want to make sure that you include the card verification value, or CVV, when you process your manual payments. The card verification value is the 3-digit code found on the back of all Visa, MasterCard, and Discover payment cards, or the 4-digit code found on the front of all American Express cards. To enable card verification, select the drop-down and select CVV2 Acceptance Levels. All of the best practices that we discussed with address verification should still be followed when enabling your CVV acceptance levels. The more levels that you select, the more unverified transactions you'll accept, creating an unsecure environment for yourself and your consumer. Here we're going to only accept transactions that the card verification can be verified and matched with the card issuer. Select Update to save your changes. Duplicate checking is also available under the payment acceptance levels. Duplicate checking is enabled to ensure that your customers are not double charged, and it also helps to reduce redundant transaction processing fees. This is known as a pre-authorization filter, which means before the transaction is routed to the processor for approval, PAYware Connect will verify if the transaction has been processed anytime during the current day. Duplicate checking resets after each batch has been settled within PAYware Connect. This could also be put in place if processing through a POS system that requires duplicate checking to be enabled. Some book and ship systems may need to reprocess the originating transaction to complete it, so by enabling duplicate checking, it will prevent the charge from being duplicated. Now, it's likely that you're not going to want to decline a transaction from a repeat customer, so it's recommended that you enable as many options here as possible. Since we will be accepting credit and debit transactions in this store, I'm going to select credit account number and credit amount, as well as debit account number and debit amount. That way I'm not declining the transaction just because of the credit card or the amount alone. Now, if you do have a lot of repeat customers buying the same product several times a day, we recommend that you keep duplicate checking disabled. Thanks for watching this short video on the PAYware Connect store portal. For additional product and support information, visit us online at support.verifone.com. You can register for our online knowledge base, view product documentation, and have access to additional training links and videos. For additional account and POS support, make sure you give a call into your merchant services provider. For PAYware Connect technical support issues, give us a call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 1-800-839-0947. Make sure that you have your 9 to 14-digit PAYware Connect merchant code available. From the Verifone Training Academy, thanks for watching.